Hello, welcome to another video. So in this video I'm just going to be inking another page here. It may look like it's just character art, but it's actually a full art page. Now, how I pick whatever videos I'm going to record is dependent on how much information is given about the comic, because I don't want to reveal too much. And also, I tend to pick something that's a little flashier, a little more interesting to watch. And since in this page in particular, I'm going to be going beyond just inking, I'm going to be using Copic markers, I thought it'd make for good content, especially for discussions. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris, or on social media, known as Lame Vision. You can find me at lame_vision on Instagram, or Lame Vision, one word, on Twitter. Now I wanted to give some updates on what exactly it is I'm doing currently. So aside from working on my comic, I also make illustrations, which I post usually daily. And currently on my Twitter, I have a contest, a raffle going on, where all you have to do is enter by submitting a character, commenting a character under the thread. It could be any character, an original character, an OC, or any previously existing character. I will then, at the end date, which I believe is this upcoming Saturday, the point of this video, so September 19th, will be the last day to submit. And if you win, you'll win a commission. There will be 2 winners chosen at random. So if you're interested in that, please go check that out. Or if you're just interested in seeing some of my art, go check out my Twitter and Instagram. So I wanted to talk about some of the tools that I use when I'm inking. Because when I originally started this comic, it was actually all done digitally. I would sketch traditionally, and then I would sort of translate that to a digital format, which is mainly how I do my illustrations. I'm a huge digital advocate, but as much as this is a passion project, it's also a form of learning for myself, and I wanted to do it by traditional means, not just to learn how it is that comic creators used to make comics traditionally, but also because I wanted to have the original artwork on physical paper. I don't know, it's just something that I always thought was really cool. Okay, so back to the tools. So what I use is a G-Pen, which is a dip pen nib, mainly used for shonen manga or manga in general. It's made for thicker lines. It gives you a lot of control with kind of this tapered look in your lines, which you can tell in the video how some lines go quickly from thick to thin. That's something that microns or fine liner pens can't do as easily. It is possible, but sometimes you have to taper it yourself. This adds a lot more flexibility in terms of just being able to do it without switching fine liners at all. Okay, so back to tools. Enough about the G-Pen. I also use brushes, mainly watercolor brushes, to ink dark areas, to ink all the blacks. The type of ink that I use is the Leader 4 manga ink. It is very good. So far, it is the best type of ink that I've used. I've tried Pilot ink, various types of India inks, and I don't know, I just found this Deleter manga ink to work the best. You know, I've heard about it for a while from different artists and YouTube creators. I kind of held off on it because I had already bought like huge bottles of other inks, and I didn't want to waste that. But I finally gave in because, I don't know, I felt like the blacks could have been darker. There's just something that the ink I was using wasn't giving me. It just wasn't giving me the satisfaction in the lines and blacks that I wanted, especially when filling larger dark areas. And this ink does that perfectly. I love this ink, and I'll probably stay with this ink as long as they keep manufacturing it. I just wish that they would distribute them in larger portions, because as far as I could tell, I've tried looking, they only sell it in these tiny little bottles, and it's pretty annoying. So that's the type of ink I use. I also use, by the same company, coincidentally, deleter manga paper. So this is manuscript paper. It does have rulings, which kind of show up in the video here. You can see it's very light blue. It's like this photo non-blue. And it works very well, you know, the type of paper is just this Bristol board type material. It works great with a light box, it's not too thick. It works amazingly with dip pens. Now I was thinking about the types of videos that I would continue to make. I have some on backlog that are practice videos like the one I did previously about hands. From now on, I think I'm going to stick to primarily talking over most of these videos. I think that makes for a more interesting video than just, you know, watching and inking. And if anybody doesn't want to hear what I have to say, that's fine. You can, you know, mute the video and play your own music over it or whatever it is you do. This also gives another option to people who don't care about watching the video and just want to listen to something. So, one question that I've been asked is my comic a manga or a comic? The answer that I used to give was that it is a manga. Now what I tend to say is that it's just a comic. It's a sequential art. You know, they're varying names, but it's all sequential paneled artwork. And although my style is inspired heavily by manga, when I have this printed, it's not going to be read from the opposite direction of Western comics. So I'll just stick with comics when people ask me that question. One of the steps that I take when creating a character is looking at inspiration and then drawing that character that I'm inspired by. From there, I will usually give them new clothes, new hair, a different aesthetic, and see what direction that takes me. And usually it ends with the character looking nothing like they used to. You know, the inspiration is essentially gone. So, I don't know, I think it's just a neat way to kickstart your creativity, because sometimes it's really difficult to just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to come up with something. If you sit there and look at a blank piece of paper, you can start to go crazy. If I'm just free that day and I have no worries, and I say to myself, hey, I'm just going to come up with a new character today. I pull out a blank piece of paper, grab a pencil, I'll just sit there and stare at it. I won't be able to come up with anything because I feel like I have no motivation, I have no worries, I don't have anything. So my approach is to just start drawing anything at all. Sometimes it's easily done with doing a redraw of something that you love or being inspired by something and making fan art for it. As long as you put pencil to paper, you will kickstart your brain, and from there, the ideas will start floating. Just start drawing. Even if you're just scribbling random nonsense. Sometimes you gotta just scribble random nonsense to see what it is you're gonna come up with. I mean, what have you got to lose? In my opinion, it's better than just sitting there. You could either sit there for 10 minutes and think, or you could sit there for 10 minutes, think, and draw anything at all. I've also been thinking about future projects and what it is I want to do after I self-publish this comic. I don't know how it's going to do, obviously, but after I finish this, I definitely want to come up with new stories, maybe head in a totally different direction that isn't action. Now, my process after I finish a page is to scan it, then upload that to Clip Studio Paint. From there, I add effects, I clean up anything, readjust, crop, format the page. I do keep the gutters in mind and the cutoff points on these pages. Splash pages like this, though, I kind of just let loose, let things go off the pages that I don't mind being cut off. So if it's pieces of his hair or part of his hand that doesn't need to be detailed, is kind of cool to see if you look at the original artwork, you know. And one thing that I've learned that really helps me speed up when it comes to drawing is to accept that you draw how you draw. Obviously you want to improve, but sometimes you sit there and try to make your piece of art too perfect. All of us can spend 10 years on a 30-page comic and make sure every single little detail in every page is perfect. But if you do that, you know, you're wasting 10 years, so is that really worth it to you? I think most people would say no. I think most people would want to release multiple comics in 10 years. Now, for this page, it actually took me quite a while, I think, especially to ink one character. I mean, it's essentially one character. The Copic portion of this video didn't take very long at all, actually. That was the quickest part. Inking it, doing the line work and doing a lot of the shadows and the dash lines is what took the longest, honestly. Now, I've been wondering how long I should talk for during these videos. Originally, I was just thinking of talking throughout the entire video up until the very end. So I'm just gonna leave you guys here to finish the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the video if you like it. Let me know what you think of the drawing. Let me know what you think of the discussions. Remember, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My commissions are currently closed. I'll be open next week once again. Check out some of my artwork. Don't forget to participate in the art raffle on my Twitter if you're interested. All you need is an original character or any character that has been created in the past. Comment on it and possibly win a free commission. All right, thanks everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you all next time.
Bye.